Alright guys, welcome in to AZ's Sunday Night Book Review. Now I know this is coming out just a little late. I apologize. Fucking busy as hell. Anyway, that's my personal business. I don't want to bore you with that. So as promised, we are going to delve into the mind of one of the greatest authors of all time. The crazy mind of Stephen King. And the book we will be reviewing tonight is none other than his newest novel, Mr.Mercedes. That's right, guys. His new book, Mr.Mercedes, is about this homicidal killer named Brady Hartsfield. Of course, he's a psychopath to do this. Steals a Mercedes from this woman who's a little eccentric. We'll learn about that later, if you read the book. Drive the stolen Mercedes through a crowd. This is during 2009 when the economy was in the crapper. Drove the Mercedes into a crowd of people at a job fair looking to get a job. Alright? I forget how many killed, I forget how many injured, but it was pretty freaking brutal and gruesome. And then this guy, this criminal, he's really smart, really intelligent. Actually, he's like in his 20s. Alright? Not even an established criminal. He was able to trick in the book. Parks the car, no fingerprints, takes the key, all this shit. And the plot develops as it goes on as this fat, well, I don't want to say fat, overweight, retired cop, Mr. Hodges, Detective Hodges, in this book. When he was on the job, he tried to get this guy, Brady Hartsfield. He couldn't get him retired. And now Brady Hartsfield is mocking Detective Hodges that he wasn't able to get him. That might be a mistake by Brady to really antagonize Mr. Hodges. Comes out of retirement meets a woman that he falls in love with. Really unlikely heroes in this book. Let me read you this. Okay? In the pre-dawn hours, in a distressed American city, hundreds of unemployed men and women line up for the opening of a job fair. They are tired and cold and desperate. Emerging from the fog, invisible until it's too late, a lone driver plows through the crowd in a stolen Mercedes, running over the innocent, backing up, and charging again. Here's the statistics. 8 people are killed, 15 are wounded. The killer escapes. It's pretty freaking gruesome. Months later, an ex-cop named Bill Hodges, still haunted by the unsolved crime, contemplates suicide. He is suicidal. When he gets a crazy letter from the Perk, claiming credit for the murders, Hodges wakes up from his depressed and vacant retirement, fearing another even more diabolical attack and hell-bent on preventing it. Now, with this book, Brady Hartsfield has a very disturbing relationship with his mother, sexual, very racist towards this black fellow who is a landscape worker. He's a young kid, 18, a landscape worker for Bill Hodges. Like it said, more diabolical plot. He tries to kill the black boy named Jerome, the landscape worker's dog, with poisoned hamburger meat. Unfortunately, I don't want to spoil it, but not what goes on exactly is what Brady Hartsfield want. And big concert, you know, the band One Direction, all that shit, and Justin Bieber, whatever. All the girls, all the small kids love to go see it. So Jerome's sister wants to go see the concert. So she goes. And Brady Hartsfield, so fucking fly, so fucking just a fucking psychopath, so fucking crazed in his mind. He wants to set a bomb and blow up that auditorium, that stadium, with everybody there. So you guys will find out what happens with this book, in the present tense. Like, let me give you an example. Mr. Hodges goes into the store, as opposed to Mr. Hodges went into the store. So, present tense. I gotta say, at his age, Stephen King can still do it. Alright? You guys, Stephen King fan, you're gonna love it. Let me tell you a story. In about 6th grade, you couldn't get me to pick up a book and read. I'll tell you that right now. You couldn't get me to pick up a book. I thought it was so boring just to read. And I wanted action. However, my friend recommended a Stephen King book called Misery. that we will be reviewing in later weeks. So, a book called Misery. I don't want to get too into it. It's not that this review is not about that book. But when I read that book, I saw the movie prior to the book. But movie's good. But when I read this book, fucking changed my view on reading, guys. If you guys are not a fan of reading, it's a really good habit to have. It just, when you're takes away all your troubles. Just having a bad day at work, bad day at school. Just come home, relax, open a beer, open up any drink you want, read, and just takes your troubles away. It's a really good habit to pick up. Any Stephen King fans, great book. You'll enjoy it. If you want to start reading, this is the novel to start with. Stephen King, not a horror book. It's a great detective book. It's like an episode of Law and Order. I'm a fan of Law and Order. I don't know about you guys. But you guys will enjoy this book. Trust me. Stephen King, Mr.Mercedes. I don't know if that's fucking backwards or not. Yes, it is. Sorry about that, guys. Mr.Mercedes, that's the book. I'm out. AZ, Sunday night number 2. I'll make sure next week we're going to have a new author, and I'm going to make sure it comes out fucking Sunday. Number 3, our author, will be John Grisham. Lawyer turned author. I'll see you this Sunday, guys. Have a good one.